So this is a Skaven miniature, painted according to the Warhammer painting guide for beginners. And this is the Skaven miniature with something extra added on top. Let me show you how I did it.
Hello, turtle.
So as the first step, they recommend base coating, and this is also something that I would do. But they start with really bright values. From my personal experience, it is something that I wouldn't do because it is harder to get a good shading out of it. What I like to do is start with the darker values and then work my way up to the brighter colors. Let's start applying the dark base coats. At this point I would normally finish base coating everything, but to be honest I don't feel like it. So let's just finish shading the red cloth first and then we would do the other parts. And what I am now doing is applying lighter highlights to the parts facing upwards. Okay, so I am now done with painting the red cloth. The next step is to paint the skin. What they are recommending is painting it with a light grey called Rakat Flesh. This paint is really light and in my opinion it doesn't really fit Skavens, the rats, that very well, because rats should be dirty, they should be messy. So what I am going to do is to mix red paint with the grey paint, and this will allow me to achieve this fleshy feeling. It will make Skaven look more like a rat. You know what I mean? Let's do this. What you could also do is to paint some red points on the skin to make it look even more real and fleshy. And this one I could use, for example, for little pieces of fur, because we don't want to have pink rats. Now let's paint the armor and all of the metal parts. And I need you guys to notice that I am painting facing the camera so you could see better. So I think it is something worth appreciating. So I have just finished painting the silver armor, and can you notice what's wrong about him? Why it looks so bad? I will tell you. It is just too clean. Let's add some dark wash. So at this point you might be thinking we are done with the miniature. It already looks much better than the one painted according to the Warhammer painting guide. And normally I would agree with you, but not this time, because we want to make it look even better. To achieve that, we are going to add two things, two lights, one a fiery sword that is going to lit up his face from this side, and the second light source is going to be a green glow coming out from the caves that is going to light up his armor. And these two lights are going to give us this nice contrast and make our miniature look even more professional. So let's start painting by outlining the hot core, outlining the flame. Now let's use some yellow paint to outline the white parts. And as for the last touch, let's add some red lines on the edge of the sword. Okay, so now the fiery sword is ready, it is painted and it looks like fire. But it is not really convincing that it is glowing. Why is that? Because the whole rest of the miniature is not affected by the fire. So what we need to do in the next step is to cover the rest of the miniature from this side with orange glow and orange paint to make it look like the fire is affecting the miniature. Now let's use some yellow paint to make the parts closest to the sword really glow. By the way, take a look at this. We haven't changed anything to the sword. We only painted the side of the miniature with the orange paint, and now it really helps to sell the illusion that the sword is glowing. So the fiery side of the miniature is ready. Let's now focus on the green glow coming out from the darkness. Put the paint on these areas that the light coming from the below would hit, for example, the bottom part of his feet. Okay, so now I have my rats ready here, ready to be shown. So it's time for the final review. And remember, even if you cannot achieve this level yet, the best you can do is good enough for me. So, let's see you in the next one.